James Cook fan, correct?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
like this deal for Buffalo? No?
No, I'm glad they got him done. And here's my thing. He's the fifth. I'm fine with it. The guarantee is a little high.
Yeah.
He's second in the league among running backs and guaranteed $30 million. But he's only tied for fifth with Josh Jacobs at per year, $12 million per year. And even if you feel, Nick, like this is a high for a running back, it's $12 million a year. You know, relatively speaking, it's not much at all. And running backs, I do think, are too devalued. So, I mean, clearly, I think we're finding that out the last few years, how valuable running backs are. McCaffrey's getting $19 million. You know, now Henry's getting 15. He should be more than McCaffrey. And so
Saquon's up at 20.
Saquon's at 20.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Taylor's at 14. So I don't have a problem. Like I said, if you want to say the guarantee's a little high, at the end of the day, even if you overpay a running back a little, it's still not much compared to what these other position players are getting, and he's going to be valuable.
So the guarantee is, to me, all I care about with this, because he's not seeing all 4 years of this deal. Like he's got 1 year left, and then do we think James Cook is going to play 5 more years at a high level? If he is, then he's one of the best backs of his generation. You know what I mean? And again, I think he's a good player, but I just think that position doesn't age that way. And you guys made fun of me at the top of the show for saying, James, take 2 years, $20 million. You're right. It was terrible advice for James. It was the right advice for Buffalo, because what was he going to do? And the Bills are in as strapped a position cap-wise any team in the league, and this is it. I wouldn't pay, and he had 1,009 rushing yards last year. He's a good threat out of the backfield catching the ball, and while he had 16 rushing touchdowns, which is phenomenal. The previous 2 years combined, he had 4. So the rushing touchdowns number, he was 16th in the league in rushing yards. The rushing touchdowns number is what popped for everyone, and I think some of that was, there is some of the, are we going to have Josh, sneak it in, or are we going to hand it off James Cook? Again, he's obviously a good player, and they obviously need him. It's not a deal I would have done if I were running the Bills.
Yeah. Listen, you're at the point in Josh Allen's career where you are like, we need to win now, and we need to win now. We're not thinking about 3-4 years from now. We're not trying to figure out, how do we structure this so this does this? No, that's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. Josh Allen will only have so many years of his pure prime greatness. And since Josh Allen is such a physical monster, it's like you don't know when that's going to end. And it happens quick, and it happens randomly. So you have a team right now. You have an identity, an offensive philosophy, which highlights someone like a Cook. You want that continuity. You don't want to kind of have to play these games of trying to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it makes sense to do this in a lot of ways, because if you're the Buffalo Bills right now, you're playing, I don't want to use the words like all in, but like I always talk about this on like a 1 to 3 year timeline. You're on like a 1 year timeline right now. It's like year to year to year with this Buffalo Bills team and Josh Allen. It's like, I am focused on what do we got right now. Like we have peak prime Josh Allen, beast monster. I don't want to waste any of these other years with like, well, we have to move on from this guy, and well, we have to rely on this rookie. Well, we have to rely on this second year. But no. None of that. There's no time for it. There's literally no time for it. And so I that's why I can respect and appreciate a move like this. And even if it ages a little bit poorly, it's not devastating. It's not like it's one of those, oh, well, we really need to do this with this wide receiver, and so now we're on the hook for $150 million. Like, that's not the case here. And running backs are absolutely devalued. That much is very much true. And John Middlecoff really highlighted this last year, that I think he did a great job. He was talking about like Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley were getting paid like whatever exactly it was, like $12 million, $13 million. And he's just like, and look at what they're doing. He's like, you got all these other wide receivers who are getting paid like 30 million, 30 million, 28 million, 30 million. And it's like, they are undeniably having a greater impact, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, on their team. Like, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley are having bigger impacts on their team than some quarterbacks around the NFL, right? I mean, like, and so it's just, if you can get a deal like this, it's, 30 million guaranteed, 48 million deal. Like anything, you always want to be able to spend less for your players. That will always be true. That will always be true. So, like, you can always have the take, think it would have been better if they could have paid a little bit less and all of that. And it's like, that's always accurate, no matter who you're signing. Whether you're signing Josh Allen, whether it's Myles Garrett, like, you could always be like, it would have been nice if it was a little bit less guaranteed and a little bit less per year. It's like, yeah, you're right. That is technically true. But if I'm just looking at this from just a pure practical football position, then and especially on a short-term window, then I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to figure out right now, how do we best maximize the salary cap for 33-year-old Josh Allen. I have no idea what 33, 34-year-old Josh Allen looks like, right? I got no idea. So I'm just not thinking that far. I'm worried about 2025. What the heck do the Buffalo Bills need to do to maximize their chances of winning the Super Bowl today? That's all that matters. That's all that matters. You've already kind of done a little bit of the song and dance here and there over these years. Don't got time for that. Zero time for that. And so, like I said, I can appreciate that. And also this whole idea of like the touchdowns or the less yards over the years past, because what they did in 22 and 23, they ran a different style offense. They now run a significantly more balanced offense. I don't know when that's become such a bad thing. I really don't. I don't know when balance has become such a bad thing. Or it's only bad when it's with the teams and the quarterbacks that we don't like. But when it's with the teams and the quarterback that we do like, it's brilliant. It's exhausting. But yeah, you would have liked them, right? Like Nick's obviously like more exaggerated idea of 2 years, 20 million or whatever. Yeah. Would it have been convenient and really nice for the Buffalo Bills to be able to pull off a contract like that? Like I said, undeniably. But on a short-term window, I'm content with it, and I would feel more comfortable having the continuity of this than having to be like, no, we're gonna play hardball. You either play or you don't. It's up to you, and then potentially going on without him. Like, I just don't think that a team like the Buffalo Bills can afford to have some of those things. Even though I still think that they would be successful and could win, does it maximize your team? No. And if it doesn't maximize your team in 2025, well, then I'm not interested. And you're like, well, it could maybe set you up to maximize in 26 and 27. And it's like, I don't know about that. And then again, like I said, Josh Allen's now a year older and then maybe another year wasted. And it's just like, I just don't got time for that. You burned those cards already. You burned those cards for years now. I don't got time for that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills and signing Cook to 4 years, $48 million and $30 million guaranteed? Do you think this ends up hurting them in the long term? Do you think they even really needed them? I think it was Greg who said they don't need him as much. I forget who won. I think it was Greg who may have said that. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.